Yeah.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about deaths from domestic violence. And the reason why I'm going to talk about this particular subject, and when I was growing up, I had a very good friend named Giovanni. And we were really, really close. And when she was getting ready, when we were both getting ready to graduate, she said she was going to be getting married. I never met the guy before, but I knew that this was like a set marriage and something that was unheard of, but at least for me. And she was 17 when she graduated, and she said she was going to do it. And at the end of the summer, she graduated, and she married her spouse at that time. And I hadn't seen her for years. So we graduated. I didn't see her again until I think it was the year was 1999, before I was getting ready to go overseas. And we happened to hook up. We had such a good time, and she told me that she finally left her husband and moved on, and that he was abusive. And at that time, I had no idea that he was abusing her. And anyway, we made plans to meet up again when I came back from overseas, and it's going to be great. Well, we never got to meet up again. That was the last time I had a chance to speak to my friend. That's the last time that I seen my friend. When I got overseas and I was able to call home, I talked to my mom, and my mom informed me that she had some bad news and that Giovanni was killed by her ex-husband. He came over, found her. She had moved. She had her own home. She had with her 2 children. And he came over there and said he just wanted to talk. And her children were in the background. They were little girls at the time, I think 8 and 9 years old. And they were saying, "Mommy, don't let him in. Don't let him in." He said, "It'll be fine. It's not going to do anything to me in front of you." Well, he begged her to take him back. And she said, "No, it's not going to work." She was tired of getting abused. So he shot and killed her when she said no in front of her kids. So we are constantly aware of a lot of the commercials that's going on now, football, and some other incidents that's going on with domestic awareness. But what we're not aware of is the deaths from domestic abuse. Each day, 3 women die. 1 to 3 women die in the U.S. because of domestic violence. So that's 1,000 to 1,600 women are murdered at the hands of their spouse. 2 million women get seen in the emergency room each year because of domestic incidents. Domestic deaths, it doesn't matter. A lot of times it says, well, it only happens in the poor neighborhoods. It doesn't happen in this particular family. Well, it doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're Caucasian, if you're black, or if you're Hispanic, or if you're Asian. Domestic violence has no, it's an equal opportunity thing. Those are issues that are built up, and it goes across the cultural lines. Police officers spend most of their time, 33% of their time, responding to domestic violence calls. They go out there, and a lot of times their lives are on the line as well when they're responding to this call. And the impact of domestic abuse, it doesn't just affect the family, it affects the neighborhood, because you'll be saying to yourself, well, I didn't know what was going on. Or I wish I would have done something. I heard them yelling, but I just thought it was a little argument. And in my case, I'm thinking, she left him. It's okay. It's all right. But it wasn't okay. And that's something that I'm living with that guilt of not being, or feeling like I just should have done something more to help her out. Compared to those soldiers or military that died in Iraq and Afghanistan, over 6,000 military people have died, but over 11,000 women were murdered due to domestic violence. issues. I'm not trying to take anything away from it because a death is a death, but the fact is we need awareness right here across the country in the United States of what happens when we continue to let these patterns of behavior go on and on. Deaths are not limited to the United States. In Europe, compared to traffic accidents and compared to cancer, domestic deaths rank #1 among women. In France and South Africa, 1 in 3 women are killed by guns. They had, and I don't know if you remember this, of them talking about in the news, but in 2011, Pakistan did honor killings of 943 women. Mainly because most of these women were either abused by their spouses, they were raped, some of them were children of what would be considered children. They were 12, 13, 14 years old. They were wives and mothers, grandmothers, and they were killed. It's honor killings. In 2012, a man in Berlin decapitated his wife because she wanted to leave. She was tired of being abused and she wanted to leave him, and he decapitated her in front of their kids. In Texas, New York, 2 other men performed the same action using chainsaws. In the United States, 30% of women are killed by an intimate partner, and only 5% of the men are usually killed by their intimate partner. Now, what these numbers do not cover that I'm talking about does not cover the suicides. It does not cover the diseases and the illnesses that get caused by domestic violence, such as AIDS, such as you get abused so much that things happen to you, kidney failure, liver failure. So those numbers are not included. Those numbers do not also cover the ones that kill their spouse and then kill themselves. I just want to make you aware that we need to stop the continuous actions of domestic violence. I wish that I would have done something more to help my friend, and I was not able to. I don't know if anything that I should have done, just to stay in better communication. We have both went our separate ways after graduation. And although I tried to talk her out of marrying this particular person, she went ahead and done it, and married him anyway. And I did not know that he was going to abuse her. But she married him in 1982, and she left him in 1998. So years and years of abuse before she finally said, stop. So if you recognize or know someone that's being abused, please talk to them. Get in contact with that hotline and let them know that there's help available. And I just want to leave you with this. And this was something that came from healthyplace.com, this particular quote, and it just kind of touched me in a way. It says that the scars you can't see are the ones that are hardest to heal. Because a lot of times people that abuse you or to abuse someone does not hit you where you can actually see the scars.